Hey, what's up guys, it's Renaldo here. So this video is going to focus on potentially another misstep by the DA leader and Minister of Agriculture, John Steenhuisen. Now before we get into it, please be sure to subscribe to this channel. It's absolutely free, and the overwhelming majority of you that regularly watch my content aren't subscribed, but you can fix that by just clicking the subscribe button below. Alright, so John Steenhuisen on the 3rd of Feb came out with this half cryptic message on his X platform. It says the following. It says, tomorrow at 10 a.m. I will make an announcement of national importance. Until you see me outlining the full set of facts tomorrow, avoid speculation. And then he's got a very famous image of Truman holding up a newspaper that spreads fake news. DeVay defeats Truman. It's a historical image of the media getting it wrong because Truman actually ended up being the president. So John Steenhuisen posted this, which is interesting. Something is smelling very fishy over here. It's almost as if John Steenhuisen wants the media to misrepresent what he said here. And this was proven today because most mainstream media outlets have come out and said that he is potentially going to resign as the leader, meaning he's not going to stand for the DA Federal Congress in a couple of months. He's not going to throw his name in the hat to stand as leader. Which is interesting because most mainstream media outlets, from News 24, Daily Maverick, EWN, to pretty much all of them, have speculated that he will be resigning tomorrow. And it's quite interesting because there are many insiders within the DA that is acting as the sources for this information. And yet with him posting that image that clearly talks about mainstream media spreading disinformation, I think that tomorrow is actually not going to be about John Steenhuisen resigning as the leader when Congress happens, meaning he's not going to stand or attempt to stand again in the federal Congress that's happening in a couple of months. Now, I have to say I find this very intriguing because, if you are the leader of a political party and you have had a lot of missteps over the last 6 months to a year, then surely you're not going to do something that just fuels that speculation and puts a lot of more pressure on you, because ultimately if the entire South Africa is talking about you resigning and there's not a lot of outrage and most people tend to agree with it, then ultimately if you don't resign tomorrow or say that you're not going to stand again for the leadership role, then I think all hell's going to break loose, and ultimately that will just do more damage to the DA than if you just actually step down. Now, I have to say that Newsday also seems to have gotten this right, and that is why I really enjoy newsday.co.za. Let's have a look at what they said. They say reports mount that John Steenhuisen is on his way out as the DA leader. And over here it says, speculation is building that Minister of Agriculture and current leader of the Democratic Alliance, John Steenhuisen, plans to step down as party leader. Steenhuisen sent out an alert on Tuesday the 3rd of February saying he will make an announcement concerning matters of national importance and public interest on the 4th of February. Following this, DA insiders have told multiple news outlets including Bloomberg, News 24, SABC, Business Day, and more that they are expecting the leader to announce that he will now not seek re-election as leader at the DA's upcoming federal Congress in April. Following up on this, a well-placed source within the party speaking to Newsday on condition of anonymity confirmed that it is expected but would not divulge any further details. Following media reports that he plans to not seek re-election, Steenhuisen posted a well-known image of former US President Harry Truman holding a copy of a newspaper with the headline, "Dewey defeats Truman." The notorious photograph shows a publishing error from the Chicago Daily Tribune following the 1948 elections where Truman was elected over Thomas Dewey. The message is an indication that headlines may be incorrect and could be spreading fake news. Until you see me outlining the full set of facts tomorrow, avoid speculation, Steenhuisen wrote alongside the image. However, as South African politics has proven, nothing is certain. According to party insiders, discussions about a leadership transition have been ongoing for some time, but Steenhuisen was said to be seeking reassurance that he would retain his position as minister before stepping aside. This would clear the way for the widely reported top contender, Cape Town Mayor Geordin-Hill Lewis, to stand for DA leader. His name has been put forward by many inside and outside the party, but he has maintained his position that he would not run for leader if Steenhuisen was still in the running. Steenhuisen has been in the spotlight over recent months after he removed DA's Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, Dion George, who accused Steenhuisen of misusing party funds. And it goes on and it goes on and it goes on. I highly recommend that you perhaps go and have a look at this and read this if you find this interesting. It's all very cryptic, if I can put it that way. Now, by the time that you watch this video, the press conference is either happening or it's already happened and you know the answer. But as I'm recording this video, all I can say is that John Steenhuisen is not really doing himself any favors with that cryptic post on X, because it could be, in a way, a middle finger from him towards mainstream media, saying that here is a clear indication that I'm not resigning. Don't write articles and headlines saying I am. And then when he is at the press conference, then he ends up resigning, which is a middle finger to them. But it's also a kind of a middle finger to them if he doesn't resign tomorrow, because then it is a case of, look, I told you and you didn't listen to me. Now, these little games in the bigger scheme of things don't really matter. In actual fact, it will just cause more harm to his reputation and that of the Democratic Alliance, because I think the widely held expectation here is that when the press conference happens, John Steenhuisen is going to announce that he's not going to seek another term as the leader of the Democratic Alliance. Now, if that doesn't happen, then you can expect a lot more headlines of people saying, well, why aren't you stepping down? He's putting a lot of pressure on himself with regards to this. If he was going to talk about foot and mouth, or if he's going to talk about a ministerial issue, then surely you can just say that in the post that you have just put out. But this is very cryptic, and it seems that John didn't get the message. Speak your mind and speak it clearly. Don't speak in riddles, because the electorate and the media is full of it, as well as the alternative media. We are so annoyed by the fact that you say one thing and then you do another thing. So that is why him making that post on X is just spreading a lot more confusion towards people that actually can think for themselves. Now, I also want to make it very clear that whether John Steenhuisen resigns tomorrow or not, that's not going to fix the DA. The DA has got a federal executive problem. They've got people in top positions within the party that is driving it down the wrong path and leading it down the wrong path, rather. Because ultimately, the decisions that has been made by John Steenhuisen is in consultation with the federal executive and federal council. So whether or not John Steenhuisen goes tomorrow, it's not the issue. And can I also just say that the worst kept secret in South Africa is that if John Steenhuisen has to step down as the leader, then we already know who's going to replace them, because the DA doesn't have a lot of other options, and that is Geordin-Hill Lewis. Now, if the people in the DA and people that are potentially thinking of voting for the DA thinks that that's the answer, then I will just recommend that you go and look at the World Economic Forum, that you go and look at the UN's sustainable goals, and then you'll find that Geordin-Hill Lewis is just going to implement globalist leftist ideas, like gender-neutral bathrooms. Those are UN sustainable goals. The fact that they want green energy, the fact that society should all look and feel the same. It is something that is just not compatible with South Africa, with our cultures, with who and what we are. But yet this narrative is being driven by the global agenda. And if you go and look at DA policy, specifically the economic justice policy, you'll find the UN sustainable goals all on their website. And a lot of people, specifically conservatives, don't want that. They don't want those policies implemented because we don't want to form part of this globalist idea of what a country should be and what the people within a country should be. So to conclude this video, it's going to be interesting to see what John Steenhuisen has to say, because if he comes out and resigns, then he blatantly lied on his X profile. And you have to understand that he's still the Minister of Agriculture, which means that even though he lost his position as the leader of the Democratic Alliance, he still has to face the same media that he lied to. And if he does not resign tomorrow, then he's just created a whole new world of hurt for himself, because everybody's expectation around South Africa is that he's going to resign. And that's pretty much all I got to say. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to share this video far and wide. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember, it's absolutely free. And if you would like to financially support me on this channel, then you can do so by becoming a member. You can do that by clicking the join button below, and it'll cost you R39.99 a month. And that's all I got to say, everybody. Till later, cheers and peace out.
You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. I wear my massacre.